This slide just explains the current situation in industry. So if you see, this is the productivity in construction industry. So across the year, like over the past 50 years, like if you see the productivity in construction industry is on a decline. So this is what is happening. And if you see in the terms of the value addition, also see in manufacturing and construction industry, the value addition in terms of construction industry is just 10%. I'm saying about the intrinsic value, not about the economic value here. So another project I would always say in webinars is this particular project. So this is a prestigious project. This is the Opera House, Sydney Opera House. So in terms of the engineering marvel, this is a real success. But in terms of project management perspective, if you see, it's a failure. So just look at the cost overrun almost 10 times and the time overrun 3 to 4 times. It has been a time overrun also. So from a project management perspective, yes, there is a this is a failure, this project. And here in this chart, you can see multiple like technologies, and here at the helm of these technologies, you can see integrated BIM. So you can see drones, you can see the augmented reality, the prefab, all the technologies are listed down. But at the helm, like you can see integrated BIM, which is having high impact, as well as the likelihood of adoption is like really high. So similarly, just coming to BIM adoption. So this is another interesting chart, I will say. So in the past from 2011 to 2020, and this chart or report is only for UK, I will say. So this was released by National BIM Report 2020 UK. And you can see the adoption of BIM has increased from 13% to almost 73% in UK over these years. So in terms of the adoption of BIM, yes, it is going good, at least in the Europe, I will say. And summarizing my initial introduction, like what is the current scenario in industry and why digitalization, I will say all those slides we are covering or like giving you insight of what are the current scenarios. And coming to this slide, I will say here you can see what is meant by open BIM standards. And again, I'm bringing the building smart here. So what is open BIM? You need to understand what is open BIM and what is building smart to understand more about Bexel Manager also. Because this open BIM standard like IFC and BCF are helping you as a user of Bexel Manager to communicate across multiple BIM tools. So Bexel Manager supports two types of 3D model format. One is IFC and one is a native format, just like BX3, I will say. So .rvt is for Revit, like that. .bx3 is for Bexel Manager. So apart from that, we are also supporting this open BIM standard called IFC. So what is meant by open BIM? So right now you are having multitude of softwares. So communication between one software to another has become very much difficult these days. So Building Smart has come up with a revolutionary format, I will say. This is IFC, Industry Foundation Class. So across different tools, you can use this format to communicate in terms of 3D model, let it be schedule or any other information pertaining to 3D model, you can communicate using this particular aspect. So that is the idea of Building Smart. They want to standardize construction industry in the long run. With that, let me now jump to the software itself. Like rather than just explaining in terms of slides, I will feel that it is better now go to the Bexel Manager software and explain there. We will be coming back to the slide again. So whenever I feel that it is done with the software, I will be coming back to the slide and I'll be explaining there. So this is a sample model. Like most of the time you have been fed up seeing this model. Whenever you see any Bexel Manager, this model will be shown. So kindly bear with us. And what happens right now I'm showing is that I'll just try to summarize what are the basic features of Bexel Manager and try to explain that intelligent scheduling part. So first of all, once you bring the model, what are the current formats with the that Bexel Manager can adopt? So the basic format that Bexel Manager can adopt, as I said, one is Industry Foundation Class IFC and next one is .bx3 files. So whenever you receive any 3D model, you can get the summary of all the files that you receive here. So all these are from Revit. All these files are extracted from Revit. So once you receive these, you can see all the source files, or like you can see here structural, you can see mechanical drawing, architectural drawing. So all these are present in the source file. So all the information or aspect related to 3D model can be seen here. Another important thing that you need to understand in Bexel Manager or any other BIM tool is the properties. The I of BIM, I will say the building information, that information part. So this is what you see. This is the information part of BIM, I will say. So if you click on any particular element, so you can see the complete history of that element, right from the time it is modeled to whatever, like whichever stage it is being taken to in the construction or in the project. So all these informations are grouped under different groups, and you can see certain parameters here and a value for those parameters. So this is why we say this is a building information model. You are punching in information to each and every model, like whatever model is there, you can see the information corresponding to that. It can be functional information, it can be dimensional information, or it can be any type life or like life cycle information. All those information can be punched into this particular model. So where this information is punched in, so in the 3D modeling authoring tool, I will say. So you have this Revit, you have this Civil 3D, all those are modeling tools. So the 3D modelers, when they model, they have certain criteria, so certain standards which they follow, and also some specific information which need to be punched in each and every information. So once you get this model, you can retrieve all this information here in Bexel Manager, and you can do all the analysis with that data. Not less to say, we can also add this information in Bexel Manager also. So for example, if I want to add certain informations like site construction related information, some what to say, like structural related information, or any sort of information which adds more data to the 3D model, I can add it in Bexel Manager. So that's one of the important thing you need to understand, like what are these properties and how you can use these properties to manage your construction. Because you say that you want to take quantity takeoff, what information you will use to take quantity takeoff? When I click on the slab, I can see that there are some dimensional properties. So these are some informations I can use to take the quantity takeoff. So say that I want to take a clash report. So what are the information? I may be required to say the coordinates of this 3D model, the offsets with from this 3D model to another element. So all those are information which I make use to create different outputs using this Bexel Manager tool. So that's why I say information is very important part of Bexel Manager. Now coming to the other part, like I think already you have the clash detection, the quantity takeoff. Most of the parts have already been covered in the last 2 sessions. But however, I will just take an overview. So custom breakdown is nothing but you get a hierarchical breakdown of your 3D model. Say that you want to divide this 3D model into phases or like into levels, like floor 1, floor 2. What can you do? You can easily create a custom breakdown for the level wise information, and you can create that particular scenario here. So in those lines, you can use custom breakdown. Custom breakdown creates hierarchical breakdown based on the parameters. So similarly, you are having selection sets. Selection sets we will explain in detail just now when we create the intelligent schedule part. And similarly, we also have our costing part. So this is another important aspect. So say in any construction, you want to deal with the bill of quantities. So bill of quantities is nothing but you have every item of your work listed down in line items. You have a quantity. So just like this, you are having a cost, you are having a quantity, and you get the total cost based, like it's nothing but unit rate multiplied by the quantity give you the total cost. So on that line you get a bill of quantity. So in Bexel Manager we are having a very intelligent system, I will say, for costing. And not less to say, all these are integrated with the 3D model. So if I click on one 3D model, I can come and see which are the items, or like if I click on a slab, right now it is showing the slab. So I just want to, that sort of integration is happening between the 3D model. So that's why we call this as a integrated 4D 5D BIM platform. So you have the 4D connected, you have the schedule connected to the 3D model, everything is interlinked here. And coming to the schedule animation, we will just explain once we create that intelligent schedule. So also at the end, I will explain regarding the outputs also in terms of Power BI, the dashboard that we can get from Bexel Manager. So let me try to start with the intelligent scheduling. So I will just give you a glimpse of what the scheduling, or this is one of the unique features of Bexel Manager that you can't get across any BIM-based tool, I will say. So what you can do is you can use the 3D model to create schedule just by defining some rules here. So for that, you require some parameters that I will explain. And ideally, I will say what in the traditional methodology. So you have some tools like out there in the industry, like Primavera, MS Project, Astra projects. So all these are some traditional tools which help you to create schedule. But however, the methodology they are following is that whenever any project is there, they will sit across, use their experience. That is one of important thing. They put across different data like GFC drawings, the CAD drawings, they interact with or use previous experience, previous projects, and they put down a complete project. And it may take like the main drawback of such a scenario is that it may take almost like 1 to 1.5 months to get a detailed schedule for you. But with the help of the BIM models, you can generate this in less than, I will say, 2 days, 1 day, depending upon the complexity of the project. Here I will show you how you can just create a schedule in just 15 or 10 minutes, I will say. So let's just, without talking further, let us start that process. So if you come here, this is the intelligent or the intelligent scheduling module or the rule-based scheduling module. You can see two things here. One is zone and one is methodology. So these are the two inputs that you need to specify to the system to get that output, I will say. So you are having zone, you are having methodology. So what is meant by zone? A zone is nothing but where construction is happening. So for example, in this project, I can say that, so this is level 1, this is level 2, this is level 3, this is level 4. So I can say that this is a zone. I can say that my construction at the moment is happening, this lab at level 3 is happening or being constructed. So I can, so where, whenever I say where, that is where zone is coming into picture. So here I can say that there are two buildings. Building 1 is one zone, building 2 is one zone. I can also say that this is phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So there are 3 phases also. So from here to here, I can say that this is phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So you are having 3 zones here. But across the project, the zones can be different. There can be pour sequence, there can be construction sequence differently. But for this sample project, we have divided this into 3 zones. One is the building, one is the zones, and one is the levels or the phases, and one is the levels. So how we can now create that levels and zones here? Just I will show one example, and from that you can get that logic, how we are creating that. For example, now I want to segregate out all the structural elements from this model. So how can I do that? So just click on one element and I can just go and see what are the properties that is defining a structural element here. So you may not know that, but based on our experience, like whenever we see a title, like document title is there. So here you can see structural demo sample building. So whenever we get any Revit model or whenever we get any 3D model, ideally the model has been divided into structural, architectural, mechanical, etc. So in the document title itself, you get a property to filter out all the structural elements. So how easy it is, I will just show right now. So you can create here one element query, you can go to element query, and this is nothing but you are calling out elements using query. Query is nothing but something that you can give out to call the elements, I will say. So I'll just give some property value here. So what is the property we just now saw? Document title. So I'll just give document title. I'll give text. It's a text-based property, and I will just say that it is contains, and that text property should contain ST. Or I can say it is begins with ST because this document title value is beginning with ST. So this is something you can say as a element query. So we are giving that, okay, you filter out all the elements that is having a property called document title and which is having a property starting with ST or beginning with ST. So I'll just click OK, press OK. So right now itself you see 2029 elements are being selected. I will say, I will give this name as structural. Fine. So if you see, right now we created a selection set called structural. Forgive me for the naming, but if I select now and isolate that, I can just see the structural elements only in my 3D model. So this is how you can filter out or like divide your 3D model based on the information. So again, I am saying the importance of information of BIM, that information lies in here, like that, what's all the data, everything lies in this part. So just like this, I created for other zones here automatically, like just on the similar lines only. So if you see right now, I've divided all the structural part into building 1, building 2, the levels into entry level. So all these are the levels or the floor information you see, the sub level, the entry level, the floor 1, the floor 2, all these information you can see. Similarly, phases also I said, like there are phase 1, phase 2, phase 2, phase 3. So all these are some informations. You are like the zones, like this particular zones, you can enrich into the 3D model, because we require this for our construction scheduling. So what you're seeing is BIM based or like model based scheduling right now. That's why we are specifying all this in the model initially. So next thing what you require, so we are done with the zone. Okay, zone is completed. So now what we require is methodology. So methodology is nothing but how we construct, or like how are we going to construct. Say that you have here the structural foundation piles, after that the beams is there, after that the columns. So ideally what you should do, initially you should construct the structural foundation, then you should go for the plinth beam, then the slabs has to be casted, again the columns has to come. So I'm just saying on a generic level, there can be more activities, but for this webinar you understand that this is how it has to go, and we are now specifying that work item over here. So where we get that ideally this methodology information in all the construction projects, as I said, there will be a BOQ, bill of quantities, which specifies all the items of work against the quantity. So on that line, we have to create a BOQ in Bexel Manager using this 3D model. And that is also very easy. So come here, go to a quantity takeoff, take a quantity takeoff easily. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking for the structural elements right now. I will bring all the structural elements. I will do a very basic classification. I will group everything based on category. So beams, columns like that I will group, and I will give a quantity called volume here. So I'll just name is structural BOQ, something like that. Fine. Press OK. So now you are having all the items of under structural model. So you are having beams, roofs, slabs, structural columns, walls, all the things are listed down here. Perfect. So now what you have quantity. So what else is required for a BOQ? I said that BOQ is a combination of the quantity, the cost. So now you need some cost also. So where you will get that, you have to now come and create a BOQ, where a bill of quantity, I will say. So it's also simple, like right now you already created the BOQ or the quantity takeoff. So from there you can automatically retrieve the items and just punch in the unit rate to that. So I'll just sample BOQ. So I'll just bring a new classification. I will name it as structural classification. Fine. So now I will just bring that quantity takeoff that we just created right now. So STBOQ, this is what we created now. So all these features, don't worry now. So in your later you can understand what all are these. Just I press OK. So now you can see all the items of work are listed down here. So now what else you are having? You are having that quantity information here, volume, meter cube, etc. You can see element query. You can also see a column where you can punch in that rates for that items. So let's just give some dummy cost for now. I mean, like just we will give something like say that 2000 or something, just like that. So we are getting, so what all I said is required for a BOQ. You need a cost, you need a quantity. So quantity already we got from quantity takeoff. So that's why these quantity formulas are there. Right now we gave just a unit cost also. So right now we are just assigning it. So assigning means nothing but you are now converting these queries to the element. Like you are saying that, okay, slabs is there. So once I assign, I can identify what element to it belongs to. So if I go to here, select applicable elements, I can see that all the slabs are now selected right now. So similarly, if I select any columns here, and if I come here and select filter applicable elements, the columns will be selected right now. So this is the integration that I am talking about. Why we say that we are an integrated 4D bar 5D BIM tool like this Bexel Manager. So now we got two things that is required. One is the zone. We created the zones here. And now we got the methodology also. So now let's just go and make that schedule. So we created the methodology. Now we have to say to the system that how we got the item, fine, we got the item, but now we have to say to the computer how we are going to actually schedule that. So for that, you have to come here. So already I have created a schedule here. So please, like we can use that right now. It is nothing but we just have to come here, go to the item, that the quantity or the BOQ just now we created. We just have to create that item of work here. So it is as simple as that. So the another thing to note here is that, so once I mentioned one item of work like structural foundation and beams, so there is a relation between structural foundation and beams, I'm saying. So First, you construct my structural foundation. After that, you start my beams. After that, you start my slabs. After that, you start my columns and walls. And then once that is constructed, you go with the roofs. So basically, this is the general methodology that we are saying to the system that, okay, this is what you have to follow. And this is a rule that we are giving to the computer. So now once that is done, we said, okay, we created the methodology. We initially created the BOQ, and we also said to the system that how that BOQ has to happen, like how that simulation or that sequence has to happen. Now, similarly on that line, we have to create for the zones also. So let me come here and create that zone here. So we have to create 3 zones. One is for faces, one is for buildings, and one is for the levels, I will say. So first of all, for the levels, let me come here and just create that. So I'll just bring the levels information from the selection sets. So these are my levels. So all these are my levels. Fine. Press OK. I'll say create relation automatically. So some issues there. Okay, so I think I have to restart the system. 1 minute. Sorry for that. Yeah, so let's continue there. So just have to go to the schedule and zone editor. So already the levels has been defined here, linked. I have to go to the selection sets, bring the selection sets here. I'll just create relations, press OK. Press OK. So we have that relation created here automatically. So you are having that information here. Just only thing is that this sub level is wrongly assigned here. Just delete that relation, bring it here and say that, okay, first you want to construct your sub level, then entry level, then the second floor, third floor, and then the roof. Auto arrange, just say that, fine. So now the next zone that we have to create is 2 more zones. One is for faces and one is for the buildings, I will say. Fine. So first of all, for the faces, I will go. I will just create on that line for faces. So already we have created here 3 faces are there. I'll just type create relation. Okay, phase 1 to phase 3. And then I will create one more zone here. That is the buildings. So again, link, come to the buildings, say that, fine, press OK, create relation, press OK. So building 1 and building 2. So now I can say that, okay, so you say that building 1 and after that building 2 is happening. No, I want to say that I want to change this relation to some other thing. So I can say that this need not be finish to start. This can be start to start, so that both the buildings can start at the same time. And I'm just giving a duration percent, some lag of something like 30%. Don't these are not big technical things, I will say, just minute technical things. Like I will say, after structural building or the building 1 has happened, after that 30%, like 30% of structural building 1 has completed, then only you start my building 2. So that is what we are saying to the system right now. So right now we have made all the connections here, I will say. So we are having the methodology. So the connections are being given correctly here. So it's perfect. And right now, the only thing that we have to see here is to create a creation template right now. So we are having the methodology, we are having the zone. So the final thing is to give the hierarchical order in which this particular template or that methodology and zone is being listed down. So let's create a new template for that. So I will go with the methodology first of all. So this is a methodology that we created right now. Press OK, fine. And now we are also having, we have to bring the zones also there. So we created 3 zones. So first one is the buildings. I'm bringing the buildings, then the levels is there, bring the levels, and then finally the phases also is there. So you are having three things: the buildings, the levels, and the phases. So bring the buildings up, the methodology second, the levels the third, fine, like perfect. So all these are like now aligned. Levels, phases. Now just go there and specify that, okay, what is the name of the creation number? So I'm just giving that this is CT1, press OK, close. And finally, just one basic thing I have to do. So I have to just make here, I have to give that another option. This option is to ensure that the logical sequence is being followed. Fine. So everything is perfect. So now go and create that schedule that we are right now trying to create. So go to the schedule editor, use schedule. So I'm just giving the schedule name and the basic course version. Everything is fine. Just understand this process and finally, like, just see how the schedule is being created right now. So issue C, how we specify to the system that now you are getting a construction program here for the structural elements. You said to system that, okay, after my building one is completed, 30% after that, you start my building two. So the system is behaving exactly the same. So now under that, I can see you are having structural foundation, beams, slabs, columns. So how is this being constructed? So after the structural foundation, then you have the beams, then the slab, then the columns, then the what to say, walls, roofs, whatever it may be. So you are getting a construction schedule having almost 139 items. Like all these items are there. All these items are nothing but an activity which is having a duration. Also the cost is also assigned to that, as well as you are getting what activity it is. So this is nothing but a construction program, I will say. So it will take like a lot of time to create such a schedule in Primavera or MSP, you say that, and to create a 4D. So that is just a schedule. Now to link that to the 3D model in any traditional tool, it will take you a lot of time. So right now, whatever 3D model that you are seeing here, so this particular model is connected to the 3D model. For example, if I select this particular thing and if I go to selection, select elements, you can see that that is connected to that particular element. So now let's go and see the animation, how that animation looks, and let's see that. So initially the building one, phase one, the foundation is being constructed. Fine. So after 30% of that time, the building two will happen also. Just see that. Yeah, so now the building two also has started. So see how logically this sequence is being going on. So you can see the course, you can see the week in which it is happening. So all those informations are actually listed down in this animation screen. And whatever product that you are seeing right now, or the animation output that you are seeing, it is created based on the rules that we specified to the zone, based on the methodology that we created, and finally the schedule that we created based on this output. So this is how easy it is to create a 5D animation in Bexel Manager. So how long it took? Less than 20 minutes, I will say. So we created a schedule for the structural part, I will say. So I hope that this is somewhat technical to you, like you have seen methodologies, zones and all, but I hope that IPMCS is really capable to give you complete training on this and like equip you with all these techniques and technologies which can take you forward in the new age of construction, I would say. So after that, I will say that like I will also show some of the reports in Bexel Manager right now. Also some new cloud-based tools that are released by Bexel Manager. So let me take. I hope the system is somewhat crashed right now. Let's see. Okay, so I will initially show you the Power BI probably, and then we can come back here and see this. So this is the final output and all I will say. So what you are seeing right now is the you have did a construction program there. Finally, you are seeing the animation well and good. So how the outputs are like finally reflected, or like you want to send this output to your management, or like you want to. So this is what in construction that is happening. So you create a construction program, you monitor your construction, you update the progress, and finally what the output has to be now specified. The data or the data insight has to be now communicated to all the team, probably in the management level. They want to know where your project is on time, whether it is consuming more cost, whether it is under budget, or all those scenarios you can get from these dashboards. This is just one of the dashboard. I will say what you are seeing here is a earned value curve. So earned value analysis, I hope that you understand what is that. It might be there in your curriculum. So all these are the earned value charts that you can see. So based on the metrics, earned value metrics like CPI, SPA, you can understand that, okay, where my project is going on time, or is it behind the what it's consuming more cost or not. So all those information we can get from this dashboard. And another thing is that these are actually linked to my 3D model here. Let me try to open that. Hope this time it works. No. Sorry for that. No, I think the server, there might be some issue with the server. That's why this is behaving like that. So now let's just say like you can access that particular Bexel Manager trial and all from our website itself. Let me try to show one more. Let me see whether this works. No. So I'm so really sorry for that. Our server has some issue. That's why the this is not getting loaded. Actually, this is a cloud-based Excel Manager viewer. Like you can view and you can update like whatever activities. So that the idea of Bexel Viewer is that you have this 3D model right now. You have the construction program. You have all the information into your system right now. Say that you want to send this information to somebody who is a supervisor who is staying in the site. So at that time, what can you do is you can send this information directly to him. The 3D models, ask him to update the progress in the 3D model. Like you can select the 3D model, he can send it back to you. You can just update the progress based on the 3D model. So that is what Bexel Viewer can do. And so apart from that, we also have our dashboard that I was just showing to you. So these are some of the dashboards. So ideally what happens is that you have that 3D model also reflected here. So probably I'm assuming that there can be some issue with the server connections. That's why this particular is blank right now. So it should be also visible. So that's it. Let me. And coming back also, you also have some of the reports I will like to show here in Bexel Manager, like what are the other reports and all that you can get in Bexel Manager. You have some task reports also. So let me see what are the task reports. So you click on one activities, you can see, okay, you can see what are the cash flow, what is the cash flow for that particular, you can see the cumulative cost. So this ideally should be in the S curve. So you should take the project initially, you can see that S curve coming here. So this is nothing but the cumulative cost. So in day one, I am having this much cost, and going forward, this is the cost for my particular project. And if you have given some resources, we can see that reports also here. So all those are listed down in Bexel Manager, and this is a reporting of Bexel Manager here. So another output we already saw is that the scheduled animation. So animation also, we can take exports of animations. We can club that with the actual, the plan, all those things. We can club that and we can create what you say, intuitive understanding of the construction. So finally, some other probably this might not have been explained previously. So we also have a number of add-ins. So as users, you can download these add-in from our website user area, and also which IPMCS will be sharing with you in the trainings and all. So all these add-ins can be downloaded from our user area, and you have delay analysis. So you can perform delay. So we just created a construction program. So now say that we are going to the site, we are monitoring the construction. We want to understand whether this progress or whether this program is going as per the schedule or not as per the schedule. For that, we can use this delay analysis. We also have the option to create or like filter out critical activities from my projects. So if I just run this, I can just see that the critical activities, like these are my critical activities. All the red colored are my critical activities. So previously what we have to do, we have to come to the schedule and understand, okay, this is my critical activity. But right now you are getting that information passed on to your 3D model. So on this line, we can have multiple reports or like outputs created in Bexel Manager.